Hello, everybody.
Oh, hi.
Welcome to our listen through of season 1, episode 12, The Trial of the Unworthy. This is one of my favorite early episodes of the Critshow. I'm very excited.
Yes.
How are you doing, Rev? We are just fresh off of finishing our last Omniverse Chronicles.
It's true. I'm sure we're going to talk about that a little more after we're done with this.
Probably, yeah.
Because I can't stop myself and no one can make me. No. Yeah, no, it was it was a very fun wrap up, and I'm excited to experience the next game as well.
Yeah, I'm very excited about the next game, and if you stick around to the end of this listen through, we've got some announcements about the
Yeah.
next game. We're gonna share some secrets.
Chat a little bit about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, shall we?
Let's do it. This is a long one.
It is. Let's get. Hey everybody, this is Rev. Welcome to the Crit Show. Before we get into the episode this week, we have a number of things to tell you about. It's just
so many things.
The first of being, if you listen to the show and you're on Facebook, I highly suggest you follow us on Facebook because the episodes only come out every week. And there's information that we're getting, there's things that we're posting, and that is the first place we post it because we know that people will see that. So if you are on Facebook and you want to be aware of some of the announcements that we're getting ready to make, maybe a little faster, follow us on Facebook. Again, that is facebook.com/The Crit Show. Like I didn't know. So we're going to Gen Con. The Crit Show is going to be doing a live show, which is on Friday the 3rd at 6 p.m. It goes from 6 to 8. Out pretty well.
Yeah.
We will be doing a live show, recording it, having a little chat, maybe giving away some door prizes.
And it's cheap.
It is cheap.
It's only $2.
It is $2 American dollars. So if you are coming to Gen Con, join us. Come see a live show. Be with us while we record. Yell at us, heckle us, or give us love. The guys really could use love. I've seen the way they roll.
Yeah, our dice already abuse us enough.
It's true.
I'm over it.
Come see in person how bad they roll, and you can see that it's not staged.
Every failure I have in that live show, I'm just giving those dice to somebody in the audience.
Oh, excellent. Come win some cursed dice at the Chris Show's live show. And we did. So again, that will be Friday the 3rd from 6 to 8. Now, we will have another Gen Con announcement fairly soon, but we don't have a time or a date for it yet. And as soon as we do, we'll post that on Facebook, and hopefully it'll be in the beginning of next week's episode. But let's just say there'll be an opportunity maybe to play some games with us.
Yeah, live.
It'll be a good time. Along those same lines, I know we've got listeners all over the place. I am just constantly amazed when I look at the statistics for the show and see where we have people listening to the show. With the sheer number of people listening to the show, I imagine we have some people going to Dragon Con. Well, you know what? Tass and I are going to Dragon Con, and we want to play a game with you. So if you're going to be at Dragon Con and you'd like to play a game of Monster of the Week, send me an email. Email thecast@thecritshowpodcast.com. Send me an email, start up a little bit of communication, and we will work it out each day that we will set up a game for listeners of the show. I will game master a game. Tass will help out, or he'll run his own game if we have enough people in the same day that want to play.
Yeah.
We've already got one game set up and full. To create a character and run a session, it'll be maybe 3 or 4 hours. We'll find a time that works for everybody involved. So again, if you'd like to play a game with us at Dragon Con, send us an email, and we will arrange that, because I think it'd be cool to meet some of you that I just know the names of, or that I've only talked to through various messengers or emails. It'd be fun to hang out and, have a meal, have a laugh, have some dice, kill some monsters.
Get killed by monsters.
Get maybe killed by monsters. Also, with that email address, we're getting ready to start another story arc, and I've got names dropped in. If you would like to be a character in the show, if you want your name used, just let us know. Send me a Facebook message or at me on Twitter. Is that how you say that?
Yeah, sure.
At me on
That's,
Twitter.
That's how you do the tweets. The tweeters.
I'm barely holding on with Twitter. I think I have 11 followers.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to understand it. But you can at me. I am Rev, R-E-V, Deschain, Deschain on Twitter. And then we as a whole are
The Critshow.
The Critshow on Twitter. So if you'd like your name used, give us an at. And then the other thing I'd like to request with email or social media, we have in the last couple of weeks had this huge bump in people listening from other countries. And I've been contacted by a few of them. If you are listening in another country, send me a message. I just want to say hi, and I want to find out how you stumbled across the podcast, because I think that's really cool. I think we are up to now 16 or 17 different countries.
Yeah.
So that's really not really an important announcement. That's just me thinking that's really fascinating and wanting to say hi to you. So, if you listen to us and you're in another country, at me. That sounds so weird. Or send us an email. So again, a huge rundown of all these things. This is just the longest intro we've ever done, but it's a lot of information.
Yeah.
Follow us on Facebook, because that's where we give all this information out right away. If you go into Gen Con, get a ticket to the live show, and keep on the lookout for another announcement about maybe playing some Monster of the Week with us. If you're coming to Dragon Con, send us a message, and we'll play together. We'll have a good time. We'll meet some people that may live in other parts of the country. And if you want your name used, or if you're from another country and you listen to the show, add us or send us a message, just because I think it would be cool to know. That was a lot.
That was a lot, but it's all good stuff.
Yeah, right? It's fun stuff. And we actually have a couple of other things in the pipeline already that we will be announcing over the next week or so. Some little tidbits and some extra things that are going to be happening. It is chaos here at the Crit Show, but it's that good kind of chaos.
Oh, yeah, it's that good stuff.
Yeah. Speaking of good kind of chaos, I think it's time to let the recap roll. You grab hold of the hammer, and there is a flash of light, and you vanish. And the two of you, the light clears, and the hammer is still there. And the words shimmer, and worthy changes to unworthy. Jacob Purley,
Oh,
you
hold
were
on.
chosen for a great deed to protect
Pause.
someone we thought was...
that was the first
That
was the
was-
first recap that I've ever heard that you must have just organically made your own noodles?
I must have.
Fascinating. That intro was funny, very very timely actually, considering we're about like 3 weeks out from going back to Gen Con.
And this week we recorded the same type of intro. Where it's like, I haven't talked about this stuff in forever.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, this week we have another big long intro of
I know.
just all sorts of things we forget to mention. Rev, you've
Okay.
come a long way since 11 followers.
I have. I'm almost at 700. Okay, Kim, I'm going to ask you to vamp for a second, because I
Uh-huh.
have to take my headphones off and count to answer one of these questions.
Okay, sure.
And I keep losing count.
No problem. As the person who runs the social media, it's funny hearing them talk about the Facebook page, the Twitter page. The Facebook page is no longer the place to go if you want to hear information absolutely first. You will hear information. I would recommend following us on Twitter, though. That probably is where we are most active and post things about like our Twitch going live and stuff like that. Is the Facebook page still used? It is. I update it every day. Well, at least 5 or 6 times a week. Let's see. How many dice ended up being given away at the first live show is a fantastic question that I will ask Rev once he stops counting. He's counting countries right now to answer Penguin's question. And also, I saw some love for Jake's intros. Enthalpy says, investigate the history used to be my favorite, but now your favorite intro music is Hold 2. Also, very good intro music.
Okay.
All right. How many countries are we at, Rev?
Over 100.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. There's one category is for like other or unknown. And it's where it like kind of places downloads where it doesn't know what to do with them. And we've got a couple thousand like that. But just countries that are listed, I believe it's 101. And so I don't know how many of those unknown ones are from other countries.
That's amazing.
Right?
That's so cool.
It's a lot.
That is a lot. That's kind of wild to think about.
It is.
in like a cool way. Penguins asked how many cursed dice ended up being given away at your live show.
A lot. We would have to listen to that episode to see how many times they failed, but
Mhm.
every fail got set aside, and then after the performance, we handed them out to the people who wanted them.
That's great. I
Yeah.
also I have a pair of cursed dice from the Crit Show. I can't remember what thing it's from, what particular fail, but when we met in Chicago like 2-3 years ago, I got a little bag of cursed D6s.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I feel like because we used to at one point we'd labeled them.
You did label them. I just don't remember what it's from.
Oh, okay.
It was
Yeah,
something
on the
from
baggie.
It was something from season 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah, on the baggie we used to label what the fail was. Once we started realizing, like, oh, we should do something with these.
I then used those same dice in my Crit Show audition, so I guess they weren't cursed for me. All right, let's keep going.
Okay.
To protect someone we thought was of great importance, things have not been going particularly well for you and your group. Not only have you faced hardships, but you've lost the symbol I gave you, and I saw into your heart you're considering giving up the armor I granted you, thus wiping away all presence of me from you. You have been brought here to prove that you are still worthy. The trials of the divine begin now. And this man suddenly shrinks and transforms into a somewhat shapeless ball of light. Oh, sorry, that's a little much. Oh, hi, Jake. I'm going to be your guide through this. I'm the consul. I'm the one who speaks for the gods. They speak through me when they want to speak, because if you actually saw them, they'd probably kill you. But every now and then, they'll come through me. And so you can call me Saul. It's the easiest way to remember my name. You know, some people have a hard time connecting titles with names, and we don't really have names. But yeah, how's it going? Tass, TJ, you guys are underwater. You see Jake's hammer make the change. The phrase that used to be there isn't there anymore, and all it says on the hammer is unworthy.
I think I'm going to swim straight down, and if I can, grab the hammer and try to swim up with it.
You get about 3 inches from it, and you hit a force field.
Oh, I mean, oh. That was out loud.
And then
He
I'm
doesn't
going to
know
try.
how a rebreather works.
I noticed that as well, and so I try to go for a reach on it too.
Yeah, it does the same thing.
Oh no. Let's try. I'm motioning for him to like scoop it from underneath, like see if we can't pick it up.
I'm going to nod vigorously and then watch him try to do that.
So as you guys start to swim closer to the hammer again, TJ beginning to try to scoop it like it's cat litter, there is a cold sensation that passes through the water, and then a figure appears beside you. It's Ori, and he looks really surprised, and he takes in a big breath of water, panics, and starts swimming up towards the surface.
I'm going to follow him.
I will follow him as well.
So you guys get to the surface, and Ori is above water, like, oh God, that was rough. I wasn't expecting that.
Take the thing out of my mouth. What? What are you even doing here?
Oh man, I had to find you, and I haven't ever tried to do that, and I thought, this might be a good time as any to try some of these powers, and holy shit, you guys were underwater. That almost killed me.
Yeah, we sure were. What's happening?
There's a girl at the resort. I think she's from the village. She wants to. She needed to talk to you guys. Okay, I'm just gonna swim back. I don't think I can risk that again.
That's fine. You can ride with us in TJ's lap.
Why can't he ride in my lap?
You guys can work that out.
Okay.
Ori, was the girl's name Nia?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We better get going then.
Okay.
She's covered in blood too.
Well, uh-oh.
Yeah.
We gotta
So
get
actually, I
outta
guess I'm not gonna wait for you guys. I'll see you in a minute. And he kind of vanishes, and you feel a cold gust again.
I mean, I hate to go look into this without Jake, but I mean, did you see that? What does that even mean on the hammer?
Don't even know.
I mean, you did kind of almost die. This might be some serious divine shit that he's dealing with. I don't know, man, but we got to go. If somebody's in trouble, we got to address that first and hope that he gets back. I mean, in theory, if he's cool, he'll be able to get to us. Or he's dead. Probably not. He's probably not dead.
I'm
I
hoping
hope
he's
he's
not
dead.
dead.
Oh God, now I feel bad. Oh God, what if he's dead?
What if you just killed him with that joke?
Oh my god! Does the game work? Oh,
I mean, sometimes you put that nasty shit out in the world and it just comes
true.
true.
Oh,
It's like
God.
a secret. It is.
So how do you guys want to get back?
Well, we're gonna just swim back to the Jeep and then head on back.
So yeah, you guys no problem can swim around from the water to the front side of the island and get back into the Jeep and start heading back towards the resort. Jake, you're standing in this very open.
Okay, we had some questions.
Yeah. So, how did Ori know he could teleport? He doesn't have a strong grasp on what his powers are, right?
Correct. So having seen Jake do it and knowing that Eston could do it, he just tried. It's like any of those coming of age superhero movies where someone's the kid of, someone with powers and they're just like jumping off roofs and shit. He's just back there just tensing up, thinking about being with them and seeing if it works.
Oh, I love Ori.
Right.
So did you always have this trial of the unworthy planned once Jake lost the hammer? Like, how did we get here?
So it was triggered from Jake losing the hammer. And then the thought actually kind of percolated from, he had lost the hammer. And so I had that as something to play with. And then he leveled up and he took the natural armor and mentioned out of character that, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna ditch the defender's armor.
Oh right, he took invincible from the Chosen.
Yeah. And so I was like, oh, okay, I think it's time for this god to make an appearance. And at that point I had decided that, like, okay, each of the weapons has a different god. And so this is what Jake's is, and it's obviously very inspired by Odin. Yeah, and so we'll talk about this later on, I assume, but yeah, setting up the trial was wild.
I'm so excited. The weapons being the ones in the divine playbook, right?
Correct. Yeah. The hammer, the spear, the razor
sword.
whip, the sword, and the
5 demon bag.
Yeah.
My favorite. Who doesn't love a 5 demon bag?
Yeah, right.
Also a lot of love in chat for Soul. Saul?
Yeah.
Soul? I don't know how to pronounce.
Technically it's Saul.
Soul.
But Saul is, the normal name.
I think I was
Kinda like
writing it in my
Sully.
transcripts as Saul, Saul.
Yeah.
But I'll go in and amend those. But yes, chat saying that they forgot about Soul. Oh, Soul.
Yeah.
We're gonna get a lot from him.
It's true, and he, it's funny because hearing some of these characters the first time they talk, they're so much tamer than what they become. Because like once they kind of take root, I have to store them in different places.
So like Saul was kind of very tame, but now he's much more. He's got a much more intensity to it. So I know exactly where it is. Oh,
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they're gonna stick around, then you want to make sure that they're sort of recognizable and distinct, and also live in a place that you can kind of readily access. Ooh, we are getting questions in chat. So SOL or SUL? SOLE?
I think SUL because it would be the shortening of the word console.
Okay.
Which I can't remember why I picked that word, why I picked that title. Why did I pick that? Oh yeah, someone who speaks for, yeah. So yeah, it would be SUL because it's a shortening of console.
I am making a note of that right now.
Right.
All right. Let's keep going.
Jake, you're standing in this very open space. You feel that there's a floor. It's very bright here, and it's just you and this little figure who a moment ago was a very large man covered in frost and scale mail and bearded, and now it's just this little kind of globulous light that's talking to you about you being on a trial.
I think it takes me a second to gather words. I'm probably slack-jawed and confused, and I blink a couple times, and I'm like, fine.
Oh, good. Well, we'll probably get moving pretty quick and get these underway. I know that you've got things to do.
What's happening? Where am I?
Oh, you're just kind of in the ether where the gods reside.
Who was that? Who did I just talk to?
That was the Defender.
Who's that?
It's the Defender. I mean, it's... you mortals, you have all kinds of strange sensibilities about gods. They're not really names or personalities. They're more archetypes. And they change depending on people's beliefs. So that was the Defender. That's your god. The one who gave you that hammer.
What am I doing here? Why am I on trial?
Because, well, honestly, because you seem to have lost the faith. Or at least lost belief in your god.
I did not.
You lost your hammer. You were thinking about giving up your armor. Those are all things that indicate who you are and what you do.
Well, I mean, giving up the armor was like so that I could be more covert. Like I was trying to do my job better, you know? I was trying to not get shut down at every turn by people who think a guy in armor is weird.
Well, yeah, but symbols are important.
Well, okay. I guess that's valid. I don't...
Idiot.
I think that's... Okay, yeah, you got
me there. That's fair.
You got a point. So, okay, so what's this? What is this? He called it the trials of the divine. What is that? What are the trials?
There are 4 trials that you'll go through. And the Defender, the Anarchist, the Executioner, the Challenger, and the Torturer, they'll all be watching. And based off your performance, they'll decide whether or not you get to, well, keep doing your assigned task or not.
Okay, well, let's get to it, I guess. Is time passing normally here? Like, same here as it is in my world?
Oh, I don't know. I've never been to your world. How does time work there?
Well, there's 24 hours in a day, 60 minutes in an hour, 60 seconds in a minute.
Oh, that's convenient.
Yeah. Are there seconds and minutes and hours here?
Oh,
days?
no. There's just eternity.
Let's get this show on the road just in case, huh?
All right. Is there anything that you want to know before we start?
Got any game facts for me? Got any helpful tips and tricks?
Do what you do best. And he starts to fluctuate a little bit, and a crone appears out of him. The beginning of this trial starts now. We will test your mettle in a number of different ways. Not every problem can be solved with strength, but some must. And you vanish along with this crone. You appear in a bog. There's a wooden table with a couple of weapons on it. Choose your weapon.
What are my options? What is there?
On the table, you see a sniper rifle, a shotgun, a bow and arrow, and an axe. The sniper rifle gives you 1 target for an attack and has 3 range. The bow is 2 range and also does 1 target. The shotgun is close range, 2 damage, 2 targets. And the axe is 3 damage, 1 target, close. As you make your decision, know that you will be displaying the gifts within you, given to you by your god. Some things that you have picked from other places may not work. We want to see how you operate as you are, not how you have soiled yourself from other places. And she vanishes. What weapon do you choose?
I mean, the axe is the closest thing to like the hammer that I've been using, but I feel pretty comfortable behind a bow. So I think I grab the bow and arrow.
So again, the bow is medium range, 2 damage, and 1 target. And you can feel as you stand prepping for this that you are, of course, wearing your armor, and you know that you have taken this other thing to make you tougher, and it doesn't feel like it's working, but you think if you ditch your armor, that whatever's going on with your skin would activate. Basically the power that you took that gives you 2 armor. You either have 1 armor from your armor, or you can ditch your holy armor and have 2 armor from just your skin, but not wearing the armor.
But they just gave me a whole bunch of shit.
It's true.
About...
I'm just making you aware of what you know.
I'll save that.
As you pick up the bow, you hear rustling from behind you, and the table dissipates with the other weapons. You hear footsteps and hissing. You turn around, and you see a very large 3-headed dragon, and it hisses at you and starts to move forward.
Okay, I want to try to plug it with an arrow.
Roll kick some ass.
9.
You let loose the arrow, and it hits the center head of the Hydra, and it explodes. When it does, you hear a ping sound, and in the sky, a slash mark appears, and the creature roars and closes on you.
Like a tally mark?
Yeah. What would you like to do? It is advancing on you, getting ready to... It looks like it's breathing in and is going to breathe out something.
I want a diving roll out of the way of this breath weapon.
All right, roll act under pressure.
11.
Yeah, no problem. Do you want to go away from it? Do you want to go towards it? Do you want to go...
I want to maintain my distance. I'm just trying to move laterally to get out of the way of the attack, but not like any farther away or closer to it.
Okay. So you dive to the side, seeing it take in this deep breath. The left head spits out this green fog that travels about 10 feet in front of it, and you see the grass and the flowers inside of that area just shrivel and die.
Can I come to a knee and take another shot at it?
Yeah, roll it.
8.
You hit it, and because you are so close to it, it lashes out at you with its right head for 2 points of damage. You come up to a knee, you fire the bow again, hitting the left head, it explodes. You hear another ding sound, and another tally mark appears in the sky. The right head, tasting your blood, roars, and 2 new heads sprout from the middle neck.
Alrighty. Well, should have seen that coming.
So it is back to 3 heads, but it has 4 necks right now. What would you like to do?
Did a tally mark show up when it hit me?
No.
For it or anything?
Nope.
Okay. I mean, I think that I interpret those tally marks as like I'm racking up a high score, shooting it in the head, and so I'm just going to try and pick off probably one of the fresh ones, one of the fresh 2 that just popped up.
All right.
I don't know why, that just sounds good.
That's fair. Roll it.
8 again.
So you able to roll backwards, you knock another arrow, you fire it at one of the middle heads, it hits, another tally mark appears in the sky along with a ding. But again, you're still real close to this thing. The other 2 heads bite at you, each dealing 2 points of damage before armor.
All right, I need to get farther away from this thing.
It, again, having tasted your blood, 2 new heads sprout out of the left neck. So it's, again, at 4 heads, but now 5 necks?
Okay, I want to book it. I need to get somewhere that it can't reach me, that I can keep taking shots at it.
Roll read a bad situation.
7.
You get a hold 1.
I feel like it would be what's my best way in or what's my best way out, sort of.
Yeah.
Like
Keep shooting it until there are so many necks that the body can't
can't function. Maybe what's my best way out in terms of like getting out of its reach but maintaining mine.
You can see that with a really good jump, there is a cliff a little bit away that you think it would take it a little bit to be able to climb up or get around and make it to you.
Okay. I will try and make that jump.
All right. Roll no limits.
8. I'll take -1 forward.
You bend and squat and jump and you land, and it starts to move in that direction.
Okay. I'm just taking shots.
All right. Roll kick some ass.
Trying to pick off heads. 5, but with my -1 forward, it's a 4.
Oh.
But hey, at least it didn't take me from like a step to a worse step.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. So things go to hell. You see it waddling towards you, and the arrow flies by, and it swats at it with its arm. And as it swats it away with its arm, it realizes it has a wing underneath its arm, and it goes and starts to fly towards you.
Well,
You think you can get off another shot before it gets here, or you can try to escape, try to get someplace else?
I mean, yeah, I from what I can tell, every time it takes a bite out of me, it regenerates, and that's priority 1 is not getting bites taken out of me. So, yeah, I'm going to get away, try to get somewhere else now.
Okay. Where do you want to try to go? What do you want to try to do?
What am I on?
Just kind of a little plateau.
If I go down the other side, will it lose sight of me?
Yeah, for a second.
Okay. I want to try and get out of its line of sight and then basically hard cut around so that hopefully I can circle around it.
All right. Roll act under pressure.
I got a 5.
Ooh, all right. So you run down and you go to cut and you cut too sharp and you just run straight back up to it.
Hello.
And it attacks you.
I'm just going to dive into its... I'm just going to baste myself in barbecue sauce and dive into its mouth.
the 4 heads of the Hydra lash out, each one of them sinking into your flesh. You take 8 points of damage, but that is 2 points 4 times, so subtract your armor, so it's actually 4 points of damage.
That is substantial. That kills me. I am dead. I am past dying. I am dead. I am at dead.
All right. So as these heads tear at you and you feel this immense pain rip through your body, and then the Hydra starts to shift and fluctuate and turns into a ball of light. Ugh, I gotta admit, you do not taste great. And all of a sudden, all the pain is gone, and you're floating. See all of your wounds healing. All right, well, I guess let's go to the next trial.
You just bit me to death.
Well, like I said, I serve many functions.
I don't like them.
I'm not crazy about all of them either.
I was fundamentally upset just now.
Yeah. And the thought that just Jake died
Yeah.
in another plane and you guys will never know.
Yep.
Come here, we're going to test you. LOL, you're in pieces. Like, really?
Wow, you did really bad at this test. We've never seen anybody do that poorly. You just died here.
Usually, like, they make it out and then they just go home and, get a job as a temp in an office. But, ooh, you sure died here.
Yeah, usually they just leave with PTSD, but you you died. You died.
Tass and TJ.
Okay. So we'll part there for a second.
Oh my gosh. R.I.P. Jake, our very first PC death.
Yeah.
Let's see. How developed was your mythology of the gods at this point? We get some more lore about them later this season. Was that well formed yet?
It was. When the inspiration for this trial struck, I sat down and wrote everything about the gods because I was like, okay, if I'm doing this, I need to know how they work in my head, in my world. And so I wanted the idea that they are things that flux and change as societies change. And it's really a lot more about how you perceive them, but that there are X amount of them. And there used to be, more of them and something happened. And so I knew the ones that were left. I knew what their weapons were. And I knew what their kind of cause was that they championed. Yeah.
So which was the crone that spoke to Jake right before the Hydra?
So the crone is the anarchist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Penguins asked, do the gods actually have a gender? Like we used he pronouns for the defender.
We used a gender just in the way that they appeared.
Mm.
Yeah. So no, not really. I imagine that they would appear differently to different people. But in Jake's perception of them, this is what they presented as.
I guess Jake so far is the only person that's ever really seen these gods.
Correct.
Yeah. That would be interesting if another character got to meet the gods and what they perceived them as.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have ideas as to what that would be. But let's see. Bam asks, what's Soul up to these days? Future cameo as an Uber driver?
Yeah. I believe spoiler for what he's up to.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
I'm thinking of his last yeah.
Let's see. Did the weapons that Jake chose to fight in the Hydra battle, were those associated with any particular god, or were you just kind of giving him a spread of options to choose from?
Yeah, I was just giving him a spread of options to choose from to see how he decided to fight. And, he was exactly right. The mechanics of that fight. And, I'll talk about this a little more as we go too, that each of these trials, each of these challenges, I had a point system that, there were, I think 1, 2, or 3 points that he could receive in total for each challenge. And so for the Hydra, 0 to 7 heads was 1 point. 7 heads to 14 heads was 2 points. 14 heads and up was 3 points. So, the more heads he killed, the more points he got, because it was just about constantly doing damage.
Okay.
And, the mechanics would have worked differently if he had taken a hand weapon. because obviously that's a lot of issue with that thing biting him and regenerating. But that was the way. It wasn't just a natural regeneration. It was that when it did damage to him, that's when it got to regenerate.
I see. So Jake only got like 1 point from that.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hot start. Let's keep going.
Tass and TJ,
Hi.
you pull up in the Sea Gobbler at the Wait and See, and you can see that Ori is standing by where you have parked it the previous time, waiting with Nia, and she is kind of stunned, just looking at the ground, and you can see that he was right. She is covered in a little gore.
Oh, hell, what happened? What happened?
These creatures, they started attacking in the middle of the night. It kind of looks like the things that you were alluding to, just some kind of a, I don't know, some kind of a creature with claws and hissing.
Oh God, I'm so sorry. Did they kill anyone?
No, we were able to fend them off and hide inside, but I knew I should probably come tell you guys.
I'm so sorry. I thought we took out most of them. How many were there?
About a dozen.
Oh no.
Did any of them touch you or any of the people in the village?
Yes, I mean, we fought them off, and then we were able to get inside. They came right as night fell, and we were putting away the boats and the nets and all of the fishing gear. No one died yet, but people were hurt seriously.
Do you have any idea which direction they left?
They left from the same direction they came. I think from the graveyard.
Oh God. All right. If they're still there, we can take care of those right now.
Okay.
We got this.
I think we should do that. I didn't really care much for that old priest, but I hate to think of him being there alone, not realizing those monsters are there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We'll go now. Stay here, clean up, stay safe. We've got this.
All right, thank you.
And we're going to jump in the gobbler and head that way.
Jake, we come back to you, and
Do we have anything? I'm going to try to stop between sections.
No problem. We do. Enthalpy asks, do we know what exactly happened with Nia's father? Was that Arlen? Arlen being the other vampire that was also in the Nash organization that got killed by the ghouls.
Yep. It was indeed.
So is Nia a vampire?
Phenomenal question. Phenomenal question. But yes, that was kind of my, I talked before about how I don't really do those cold openings anymore. And it was very intentionally a misdirect. Instead of what it seemed like it was an opening on someone innocent being killed, it was actually the death of this other vampire that kind of triggers the, like, oh, someone that we have to get help dealing with this because he's killing our own and not just killing people.
Now I'm worried about Nia, Rev.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about
I've got
that.
questions about Nia.
Yeah, who doesn't? Really, at this point.
Ugh. Okay. Yeah,
Jake,
chat's
we come
like,
back to you,
wouldn't
and
you like to know?
are
Yes,
in this,
we would.
again, neutral space with Soul floating next to you. A series of walls begin to materialize around you, and a figure in a long hood, hunched over, appears where Soul was. You must face what we have put inside of here. You must protect the innocent and help them escape. For if you do not save those who need saving, what good are you to anyone? And he vanishes. And TJ appears next to you.
Oh my God, TJ,
He doesn't
you
say
okay?
anything.
is he like responsive?
He waves and smiles,
Saul, what is this?
and TJ's mouth moves. Sorry, I serve many functions here.
So this isn't really TJ.
Well, my voice is coming out of him, so.
All right, Saul, no need to be a dick about
Well, I
it.
was just saying.
Okay, what's this one? Protect TJ? You? Protect you?
He just smiles and nods. And you hear in the distance, thum, 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 very heavy footsteps.
Okay, well, not TJ. Let's go.
All right. Roll read a bad situation.
All right.
All right.
9.
You get a hold one.
Since there is not actually like a threat in front of me right now, to protect the victim from. I think I'm going to go with what's my best way out. Just
All right.
trying to get out of this maze.
So you start to move around corners, and you see what you think is the clear path out of this maze. You take a couple wrong turns. You see some different areas where there are walls and shrubs, and doesn't seem quite right, but you are feeling like you're on the right path as you lead TJ out. The thump sounds like it's getting closer, and after a bit, you hear like... And from around the corner that you've just turned is a minotaur. And you can see that it locks eyes on TJ and starts to charge at him.
Am I between it and TJ?
You are.
I don't have a weapon anymore, right?
Correct.
Okay, I want to try and shove TJ out of the way and get ready to hurt this thing.
Like around a corner?
If there is a corner, then yes.
Yeah. So you see this minotaur starting to run, and you push TJ around a corner, and as soon as it breaks eye contact with TJ, it stops running and starts sniffing again and walking slowly down the hallway towards you.
Oh, okay.
And it's just advancing, getting closer.
Yeah, I'm going to go around the corner to where TJ is and see if I can see anywhere that we can kind of duck out of sight so that when it passes...
So when you come around the corner that you push TJ around, you see that there is a very large pit.
Is that the direction I think I need to be going?
It is.
How large of a pit? Can I jump it?
With no limit you could, but by yourself.
Could I hurl TJ across it?
You think you could.
Again, with no limits.
Uh-huh.
I want to step to fake TJ's left side and then angel wings to TJ and see if it works on this not actual TJ.
Angel Wings doesn't work.
Damn. Okay.
But as you try Angel Wings, you get this weird sensation that if you focused, you could call your hammer to you and use it to just break through the walls of this place. That you could just skip through the maze and knock the walls down with the hammer.
That's a weird sensation to get.
It is. It's just like the sensation you got with the armor earlier.
And so when I was put in here, I was told that I need to face what's inside and protect the innocent, right? I mean, I feel like if I break down the walls and get out, I didn't exactly face what was in here, but I probably protected TJ. I guess I'm going to try that. I'm going to try and summon my hammer then.
Okay. It appears. As it appears in your hand, you can hear that the Minotaur is getting closer to the corner. So you're going to try to smash through the wall?
Yeah, I think I'm going to try and smash through a wall. If I try and throw TJ and I mess it up, I hurl him into a bottomless pit. I don't know a more reliable option.
Do you want to get through a wall or all the walls between you and where you think the exit is?
I think I will start with 1.
Okay, roll kick some ass.
8.
All right, you break down that wall. You hear the Minotaur getting closer to the corner.
I want to get us through that hole in the wall and start moving again. I want to get distance between me and that Minotaur.
So roll read a bad situation.
6. God.
You're not quite sure which direction to go. So you can either go through the wall that's in front of you, you can go one of the 2 directions that you have, left or right, or you can try a different tactic and go through multiple walls.
By go through multiple walls, you just mean like basically the Rhino or like Juggernaut? Like just...
Yeah, kind of.
Just get a running start and try and crash through a bunch of them as opposed to breaking down one after another after another?
In your way, it's going to be more like throwing the hammer instead of hitting it with the hammer.
All right, I'm going to try and break a bunch of walls in the direction that I think is out.
Okay, roll no limits.
5. God.
So you rear back to throw the hammer. TJ steps back to not be in the way, and the Minotaur just sideswipes him, and they both fall into the pit. There's a flash of white light, and you're back in the center, and TJ is standing there, and in the distance you hear thoom, thoom, thoom. It sounds like a large creature getting closer.
Saul, have you ever seen Groundhog's Day?
No.
I think you'd really like it. I'm going to go back the same direction. Do I still have my hammer?
You do.
Oh, hell, then no, I'm not. I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to start smashing walls again.
All right. Roll no limits.
5 again.
Oh my
So you pull back again. You go to throw the hammer, and you hear almost like the sound of a bomb falling, and the Minotaur lands in the room on TJ, crushing him, and there's a flash of white light, and you're back.
This sucks because, like, I know that I'm just rolling very poorly, and that's probably what's causing bad things to happen. But in game, I feel like I would assume that I'm making the wrong decisions and being punished for it or something. And so I don't think I would try and just smash my way out again because that just got me super screwed. So I guess I'm going to try and actually navigate the maze again.
All right. So you are able to get back to the spot where the giant pit is with no problem.
Is the Minotaur in the same relative position?
He's not there yet because you're moving so much faster this time. You know you've got a little bit of time before he might show up here.
Okay. I am going to try and huck TJ across.
All right. Roll no limits.
6.
So you grab TJ by the scruff and by his coattails, and you give him the old heave-ho. And he kind of Looney Tunes hits against the far edge and just slides down into the pit. And there's a flash of light, and you are back in the center of the maze. Thoom, thoom, thoom.
I think this is really bad for me. Like, I know that it's not really TJ,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm still watching TJ die,
Yeah.
and it's my fault.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what to do. Like,
As you have this realization, the importance of protecting him and the connection to the hubris of cheating the maze, take +1 ongoing.
I want to ask TJ if he's got a better idea what he thinks we should do.
I was real close to that pit. I almost made it.
Do you just want me to throw you again?
Sure. I've had just every painful, unimaginable death that you can imagine. There's been many people who have gone through this trial. If it makes you feel better, I don't feel it.
I mean, that's a little better, I guess. Okay, I guess I'll go back there and try and huck him across again.
Roll no limits. And don't forget your +1 ongoing.
9.
So you throw him across, you get 1 consequence.
I guess I'll take 1 harm.
All right. Now what do you want to do? TJ's on the other side of the pit. Here you are. You hear thoom, thoom, thoom behind you.
TJ, go farther down this hallway. Get farther away from here.
How far?
I don't know, like 40 feet.
All right.
And then I'm going to wait for the Minotaur to come around the corner.
He comes around the corner and sees you there, and sniffs at you, and continues to walk.
Like away or like toward the pit?
Towards the pit.
I am waiting to see if it's going to like try and make its way across the pit.
It continues to walk towards the edge of the pit. Where are you?
I imagine I'm just kind of against a wall away from the edge of the pit,
All
sort
right.
of letting him walk
Letting
past
him
me.
patrol by. Yeah,
Yeah.
He that's exactly what he does. He gets to the end of the pit, sniffs, turns, and starts walking the other direction, almost like he's patrolling.
All right, now I need to get across, so I'm going to try and jump it.
All right, roll no limits.
7.
All right, you make it. What is your consequence?
Probably another harm.
All right, so you have 2 harm.
You were just pulling all sorts of muscles doing this.
I am.
So you get to the corner. TJ is there about 30 feet down, and you hear from around the corner that he's standing next to.
I want to peek that corner.
Roll act under pressure.
10.
You peek around the corner, and as you do, you see a Gorgon, but she's facing away from you.
Oh, no.
And she starts to turn, and you duck back around the corner.
Okay, I'm going to I don't know. I don't know enough mythology for these. She'll still hurt me in other ways than just looking her in the eye, right?
Yeah, that's primarily what she'll try to do, you think, is to try to turn you to stone, but...
But if she can't, she'll just hit me real hard. I want to fashion something into a blindfold so that I can blindfold TJ. At the very least, whatever happens to me, hopefully he doesn't get turned into stone. So I don't know if I need to rip off part of my shirt or...
Please.
Yes.
I will do that. I will tear myself down to a sweet midriff shirt and I will hand that scrap of cloth to TJ and be like, here, tie this around your eyes. Don't make eye contact.
What's happening? I'm just going to blindfold myself?
I'm going to try and guide you through this. Just stay with me and don't look that Medusa in the eyes.
Oh, all right. And he does. He ties the blindfold on and takes your hand.
Okay. I think I basically want to just keep myself between TJ and the Medusa and just try and plow down this hallway. When she turns around and gets a swing at somebody, that it's at me, but that I can get TJ clear and at least out of the way.
Okay, so you're going to basically try to sprint down this corridor and usher him past.
Human shielding him.
Okay. Roll protect someone.
Snake eyes.
Oh, that's very fitting because Gorgons have snakes for hair. You start to run down the hallway and you grab TJ, trying to usher him by, and you hear the Gorgons start to move. You hear the snakes hissing. And as you go to block TJ from the view, you cut a little too close to the corner you were getting ready to run around, and he knocks into the back of you and stumbles backwards into the creature's arms. The snakes bite at the piece of cloth and pull it off, and you see TJ turn to stone and then crumble. There's a flash of white, and you're standing with TJ at the far side of the pit.
The far side, like we've gotten across?
Yes.
Okay. I want to get TJ set to run, not blindfolded.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to throw my hammer and basically just hit her square in the face in the hopes that she can't gaze attack him as he makes his way through.
All right. And what are you telling TJ to do while you do that?
Wait until the hammer hits her in the face, and then we are going to run for it again.
All right. Roll kick some ass.
12.
You throw the hammer as she turns, and it clocks her directly in the face, and she falls backwards to the ground, writhing. You both sprint through this room and around the corner, and a giant comes down behind you.
Did I collect my hammer on the way? Hopefully.
You did not.
Oh.
As you step into this room, the gate turns into a solid wall, and 3 statues appear on the walls, faces that you've seen: the Defender, the Anarchist, and the Torturer, the bearded man, the crone, and the hooded figure. And water starts to pour out of their mouths and fill the room.
What are the dimensions of this room? How much space?
Why? Like, what do you want to know?
How quickly it's filling?
Pretty quick.
How many seconds I have before I drown?
You've got maybe 10, 15 seconds before the room will fill up.
And I'm hammerless, right?
Correct.
I want to start trying to just smash one of the walls barehanded, I guess.
Okay. And you can see as you start to do that TJ is already struggling to stay above the water.
Am I making any headway?
No.
Busting on the wall?
You don't see that there's any damage being caused. It's about up to your chest. It's up to TJ's neck.
I want to try and stop the water from pouring out of the statue, see if I can plug the fountains or anything.
They're about 20 feet above your head.
So can I ride the water up to them?
You can, but as you can see that TJ's not
He's not swimming.
correct.
TJ can't swim.
Correct.
Um,
So if you're going to wait long enough to swim up,
he's going to drown.
yes.
Okay, well then I need to keep him above water, like a lifeguard. Grab him and get him over his shoulder and just try and tread water for the both of us.
As you touch him, you feel very heavy, like you suddenly can't swim, but you can move him.
Water's up to my chest.
It's now about up to your mouth. He is kind of clinging to you.
So I feel heavy in this, like I can't swim.
You feel like while you're holding him, you can't seem to get both of you to move in the water.
If I like support him,
Mhm.
could he reach one of the statues
Yeah, if you support him, you could lift him above you.
as high as one of the
Mhm.
statues?
Yep.
All right, I'm going to tell him, see if he sees a way to disable that thing. I'm going to get a real big breath and just try and lift him up and stay as long as I can supporting him so that he can check out the statues.
So you lift him up, and as you do, the water passes your nose, your eyes. You're fully engulfed in it, and you feel your breath starting to leave you, but as you look up, you can see that TJ is still above the water. You take in one final breath as you feel the water fill your lungs, and then the water starts to lower down from the room, and TJ hops out of your hands. Most people don't figure out that as long as they sacrifice themselves for me, that they'll win. He pats you on the back. A fish flops out,
All right, well, I'm glad I could be above average on one.
and the room fades away. TJ and Tass, you
Okay.
All right, a lot of stuff there.
Yeah.
So a lot of nods to Greek mythology here
Yeah.
with the Hydra and the Minotaur and the Labyrinth and the Gorgon. Was that purposeful, or are you just a fan of Greek myth?
It was what's really funny, and Jake talks about this later, and it actually comes up in a later season. I kind of picked it because I thought it might be a good point of reference for Jake, like it would be kind of what his brain might create. And then it turns out that Greek mythology is not something he has any interest in or knowledge of. And so a lot of the stuff he was like, I don't know what you're talking about. But I very much wanted it to be like, the trials of Hercules and stuff like that. And so I just made it based around a lot of these older elements.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Jake, I was trying to do you a favor by drawing from references that you would know, and Jake is like, I don't know any of
I
these.
don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. And it was so funny too, because like at that moment, I was like, I totally like designed this in this time period because I don't know why I thought you had an interest in this. He's like, no, man.
He's like, a Gorgon, that's the one that turns you to stone, right? And it's like, oh
Yeah.
God, yes. So what was the point system for the Labyrinth?
So it was based off of the number of TJ deaths.
Okay.
The more deaths, the less points.
Okay.
So I don't remember off the top of my head, but I think he got the middle. I think he got 2 out of the 3 points.
Okay. What would have
'Cause I
happened
never-
had he gone through the walls?
So, and we can talk about that later.
Okay.
But it is the decisions that he's being these options that he's being offered with the armor and the walls change the end product that he gets depending on whether or not he decides to do it.
Okay. We'll
So
talk
we
about
can
this
talk
later.
about that. Yeah.
I was looking at the list of total dice rolls per episode and the results of that Ben made us for season 1.
Uh-huh.
This is thus far the greatest number of failures.
I would assume.
Poor Jake and his terrible weird score.
Yeah. And Jake has the most number of rolls in season 1, partially because of this story and because of Angel Wings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he just he's doing a lot.
Yeah.
All right, Enthalpy's got a really interesting question. And I don't know if you can answer it in a non-spoiler way, but I am interested in the answer someday. Did the previous Divine ever undergo a trial like this?
Yes.
Okay.
The end.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't imagine that you can elaborate on that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we know what we know what's being decided.
Whether or not you maintain your divinity.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we don't know how that person reacted to being given this, but we do know that, it's not carried over.
Yeah. Okay. That is that's fair. I will try to remind myself to ask you more questions about that later. I'm keeping like a running list of spoilery questions that I can't really ask Rev like while the show is still happening, but that like I really want to know about someday and one day.
Yeah, we talked about like when this story is all wrapped up, doing a Q&A of just all of the Charlie board questions that Kim has collected over the course of the the last few years.
I get a lot of them, and I'll just randomly DM Rev just questions of being like, hey, what was up with XYZ thing? This never really came up again, or like, did this actually happen? And Rev will usually answer me, and then I'm like, I should save these so that like everyone can know, not just me.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anna says, I'm glad that you're keeping track of the questions. Thank you so much. Yes, I will. And if you've, I'm sure whenever the end of the show happens, if you have questions, you can also submit them, and we'll just do a big, everything you ever wanted to know about the Crit Show, but couldn't find an opportunity to ask, like mega Q&A wrap up.
Yeah.
But yeah. Shall we keep going?
Yeah.
TJ and Tass, you arrive at the church.
I'm going to get the light rifle out and just sprint for the door, knocking.
And I'm going to get my handy-dandy nunchucks out.
All right, you sprint towards the door, and it is open.
Okay, sprinting in.
Following him.
Okay, roll read a bad situation.
5.
10.
TJ, you get a hold 3.
Jeez, I don't even know.
Point of interest.
Uh-huh.
Pretty sure I just leveled up.
Hey.
Good. We'll let you level up in just a second.
Okay.
As soon as you misread the situation or give away tactical info.
Yep.
So I'm going to spend one of my holds. Are there any dangers that we haven't noticed?
As you come into the room, you hear creatures scratching on wood, and you also hear the old man whimpering. You see that he is up on top of the confession box, and there are a couple of ghouls roaming around below him trying to figure out how to get up there. But they're not moving like the ghouls you're used to. They're not sniffing, and they look like normal ghouls.
I'll spend my second one on what's the best way to protect the victim.
Kill the ghouls.
I should have.
I mean,
That sounds like such a simple explanation, but sometimes the simple answers are the correct ones.
Very good. We got to get him.
Tass is facing the wrong direction, and he spins around, pulling out the adjustment for his light rifle and clocks you in the jaw, and you let out a scream, and the ghouls all turn and face the two of you.
Oh, hi, boys.
Tass, now you can take your point of experience.
Okay, so since I've leveled, I think what I'm going to actually do for that is pick a move from another playbook.
Okay.
The one that I think we desperately need is from the playbook of The Flake, and it is called Connect the Dots.
All right.
So essentially what that is at the beginning of each mystery, if I look for wider patterns that current events might be a part of, I roll sharp. On a 10 plus, I hold 3, 7 to 9, I hold 1, and I can spend those hold during the mystery to ask you any of these following questions, and they're like stuff specific to trying to find out the events of what's going on.
Actually, that power sounds familiar to me. I think that Philomena has that. We haven't really talked about that, but eventually the listeners may get to meet Philomena and Deese and Mitch. But we'll save that for another time. All right, so you level up, and these
No
ghouls turn to
explanation.
face you,
No.
and they start to run at both of you like the hive.
Oh, shoot. So I'm going to lower that shotgun setting on my light rifle and open fire.
And
right.
I'm going to use the power of heart to point out that one is the one you should kill first.
Does that track?
No. How are you helping him? You can't tell the tactician which one to kill first. That's not helpful.
I'll use my dive light to help out,
Mhm.
and
How so?
I will sweep it across their eyes, and it'll hopefully disorient them.
All right, roll help out.
Oh, I don't have to. I have
Oh,
the power of heart, which I can use during combat.
You do. All right.
Can I go ahead and just tell you that none of this matters because with my sweet +2, that brings me up to a 6.
Yes, but I also have a +2 that I'm giving to you, right?
That's what I just said. With your +2,
Oh, okay.
that
I
brings
thought
me
you were
to a
saying
6.
your +2.
Nope.
I was like, that's 8.
not what I'm
2
saying.
and 2 and 2 and 2.
Have you ever considered taking something that makes your shotgun hit?
I have actually. I have bumped my tough up to 0.
Oh, well, good Lord. It's almost like we built these characters off of our real life statistics instead of what would be best for the character.
Yep. So I'm one closer to my next level up already.
TJ sweeps this light across their eyes. You hunker down to fire the shotgun, and he takes it just one step too far, and it gets in your eyes, and you also get disoriented, and you flash the light at the ceiling. It doesn't do anything.
Tass shooting the ceiling is my favorite meme of this show.
This time it's just with light though, so it's not like it's hurting the ceiling.
And you realize that the creatures are very close, and so you bring it down again to try to fire at them, even though you're a little blinded, and you shoot this very high caliber light rifle into TJ's eyes, and he takes -1 ongoing. What would you guys like to do?
How come I got punished? I rolled real good.
You actually didn't roll at all.
I
Didn't roll
know.
anything.
I know.
It just says things go to hell. It doesn't say things go to hell for him.
I'm going to try to scramble backwards back out the door into the sunlight.
And just leaving TJ staggering blind. Never mind. Forget I asked that. Roll act under pressure.
That's a 10.
Yes, you are able to backwards roll out into the sunlight alone. And you hear screams from inside. TJ, take 2 harm. You realize that TJ is blinded and standing amongst 4 ghouls.
Oh hell, TJ!
You're so used to Jake being here to just teleport him away. And now it seems like he's your ward.
Oh no. And I'm going to barrel back in.
TJ, what are you trying to do?
I'm trying to keep from dying because I am unstable. Unstable. I'm unstable. So
Unstable
I'm
the constable.
probably going to go ahead and use my panic button to get out of here.
All right, roll it.
9. On a 7 to 9, you can go or stay, but if you go, it's going to cost you. You leave something behind or something comes with you.
You can see that one of the windows to the church is slightly open, like he was airing out the room. So you can dive out that window and get away from these ghouls, but you think your nunchucks are going to fall out of your hand when you put both hands to leap.
That's what I'm going to have to do if I'm going to survive this. So, yeah.
You leap out of the window, nunchucks fall to the ground with a clatter, and you land on the ground, not feeling so hot.
No, I don't.
Tass, you
suspect I
burst
do.
back into the room, and there's no TJ, but there are ghouls chewing on a pair of nunchucks.
Oh, shit. They ate him already. For TJ! And I start shooting.
You didn't realize how difficult Jake's job was. 5 minutes on the job, you got TJ eaten. Roll to kick some ass.
I kid you not, a 3. A 3. I rolled a 3. Rev is the number. A 1 and a 2 added together with my sweet nothing to add to it.
You see these ghouls chewing on the nunchucks, and it just shakes you. You drop the rifle to try to fire, and one of the ghouls catches the barrel of it in its teeth and wrenches it away from you. TJ, what would you like to do? You're outside laying on the ground under the windowsill. You hear some kerfuffle inside,
I look back into the window.
and you see Tass, weaponless, a ghoul chewing on his light rifle, another ghoul chewing on your nunchucks.
Get out of there! I scream in a very pained manner. Get out of there! Oh. That's it.
All right, and you're just going to stand in the window?
I'm going to go back around to the front door as well.
Tass, what would you like to do? You see TJ pop up through the door. He's like, oh, get out of there. And then you see him vanish again. It's almost like whack-a-mole.
Okay, if it has just ripped my light rifle away, I want to try to backpedal a little and get my shotgun out.
Okay, no problem. It's kind of distracted by chewing on this gun, so you can pull out your shotgun, no problem.
Okay, I'm going to try to take a shot.
All right, roll kick some ass.
And it's a 6, so I failed again. 3rd time in a row, trying to do anything to one-shot kill chumps. I roll a 6.
They were so much easier when they were lying prone on the ground asleep.
Right?
my
It was
God.
so much easier when I could cherry pick them. Yeah, you pull out the shotgun, and you shoot at this, and you shoot the light rifle, and it breaks in half.
Oh, shit.
TJ, you are at the front of the building. You hear a shotgun blast and a crackling sound and some energy. What would you like to do?
Are there any kind of reflective surfaces around?
There's 2 collection plates and 2 communion plates.
Oh, well, then I just need 3 of those items. I'm going to take 2 of the collection plates and 1 of the communion plates,
Uh-huh.
and I'm going to create an Archimedes claw.
Like on Mythbusters,
Like
the 3 reflective surfaces to harness the power of the sun.
Right, yeah, and it's basically going to turn it into a laser, except like a sun laser, I
Yeah.
guess, yeah?
All right, so you
Yeah.
can set this up outside, but all it's going to do is blast into the door. You won't be able to aim it unless you adjust all 3 mirrors, but you can set them up so that there is essentially a laser firing into the door of the sun,
Okay,
because you know these are very weak to the sun.
gotcha.
All right, roll weird science.
Oh, come on, baby. I got a 6.
You pick up the reflective surfaces and you turn to go outside and you trip and they clatter to the ground as you spill them out the door, and you hear one of the ghouls over you. You turn and it is getting ready to bite you. Jake, you are back in the white space and Soul starts to shift again and a large Viking woman appears. She's holding a drinking horn that's about the size of your body, and she sets it down on the ground, and as she does, the ground underneath it turns to grass and flowers and trees, and there's a little bit of snow, and she looks at you and pats you on the back. It is held that this horn is well drained if it is drunk off in 1 drink, but some drink it off in 2, but no one is so poor a man at drinking it that he does it in 3. Enjoy. And she vanishes.
So I need to drink everything out of a very large drinking horn.
Yep. This is going to be roll straight tough.
8.
All right. It takes you 2 drinks, but you drink it all.
Woo! Yeah!
You feel a little tipsy.
Spring break, woo!
So you have finished off this drink in 2 goes. You're feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty happy and loose. The scene shifts, and a table appears again, and Saul changes. You have been judged. I've lost for a second time. We, as a committee, pick a divine, and then we vie for who will empower him. The last 2 divines were mine, and they have both failed. But we do not believe it is you who have failed. We believe it is us. My hand was not the one set to guide you. Pick your weapon. And he holds his hands out, and upon the table appear a flaming sword, a very strange-looking bag, and a silver trident.
I want my hammer. I want it so bad. I think that's just what I say. I think I just go, I want my hammer.
It is not yours to wield anymore. It was a mistake for me to give it to you.
What belongs to who? Which weapon is whose?
The sword belongs to the executioner.
And who's offering up the trident?
That is the challenger, and the bag belongs to the anarchist.
I don't want to be any of them. I don't want to fight for them. I fight for you. I know I didn't do a great job. I'm trying, but I'm not an agent of anarchy. I'm not an executioner. I'm a protector. That's what I want to do. That's what I'm meant to do. I can do it better, but I need the opportunity.
That's exactly what I wanted to hear. And he reaches out and he touches your forehead. The defender has changed you in a way that he believes will be helpful. So here is your new sheet. It resets your level. You are still the divine. We'll talk about in the story recap the mechanics of all this. There were 3 different outcomes in what you would become. So tell us what changed about you.
My weird changed, so my weird is the +1 now instead of the -1. So I'm less charming and more weird.
Right, which puts you in line with all of the powers that you have now that require weird.
Yep.
You still wield the hammer, and he picked, when you reset, 2 powers for you from your divine playbook. You get to pick 1. So what are the 2 powers that the protector assigned you?
He left me with lay on hands, so I've still got that. He gave me boss from beyond. At the beginning of each mystery, roll plus weird. On a 10+, your superiors ask you to do something simple. On a 7 to 9, they ask you to do something complicated or difficult. In either case, you get to ask them one of the questions from the investigate a mystery move right now. On a miss, you're required to do something terrible. If you do not accomplish what they've ordered, you can't use it again until you've made up for your failure.
So what are you going to pick for your 3rd power?
I think I'm going to do angel wings still. Like, when I think about it, the most important saves I've had were getting there in the nick of time or getting out in the nick of time. So I'm going to stick with angel wings.
All right. And you appear inside of the church next to TJ as a ghoul reaches down to claw at his throat, the hammer in your hand. Roll kick some ass.
8.
You appear as this ghoul starts to rake at TJ's neck. The hammer hits it and knocks it out the door into the sunlight, and it bursts into ash. You both see Jacob here. Something seems slightly different about him, but he's here, and he's fighting beside you.
Oh, yeah! And I'm going to roll back to my feet and take a shot at the closest one.
All right.
I'm going to distract one of the creatures or whatever creature that he's aiming at by throwing one of those church plates in their direction.
All right, and you don't have to roll because of the power of heart.
That is a 9.
You realize as you guys hit the first 2 of them that they're not these advanced ghouls. They are just normal ghouls. They seem to be newly created. Inflict 3 points of damage on this ghoul, and it turns into goo.
How many of them are left?
2.
Where are they?
They are around the preacher who is up on his confessional box.
Okay, I'm going to go get them away from the preacher's confessional box. I'm going to go try and execute those things.
All right, roll kick some ass.
7.
If I'm watching him go towards one, I want to roll over to get a good vantage on the other and
All right.
take a shot.
Roll it.
11.
So you guys roll up on these 2 ghouls, Boondock Saints style, shotgun, hammer, and they were both down. Oh, that was so terrifying. Thank you, boys. I don't know where they came from, but they were just suddenly here.
Sorry we came in without knocking this time.
Oh, the door was open.
I'll help him down.
Same. I'm going to put my hand out.
Yeah.
And he gets down. He gets down with you both.
We just dance in the goo.
You help the priest down, and he's very thankful. Oh, is your friend all right? And you can see that TJ is on the ground still. He's very bloody.
I've got this one last werewolf serum, and I pull the head off with my teeth, and I just jam it into my chest and inject it.
All right. So you guys get TJ healed up. You take a moment to comfort the priest, and you go out to scour the ground. You find 3 or 4 more, but they're very easy pickings in the daylight. You look inside the graveyard, and you see that there must have been a couple ghouls left that hadn't been essentially upgraded yet, that hadn't been transformed. And this was the remnant of them. You have a feeling from what you've seen on the shrieks and here that this infestation is now totally gone from the island. You guys arrive back at the resort, and Ori and Nia are waiting there. Did you solve the problem? Nia asks.
We definitely got rid of the rest of the ghouls.
Oh, thank God. Jake, did you find my father?
I'm afraid he's gone, Nia.
I had a feeling that he was, but I thought maybe there might be some small chance.
I'm sorry.
I guess I need to pack up his things and just let him go. You're having a conversation with Nia, Jake, trying to comfort her a little bit, and Ori is thanking you guys and apologizing for not being upfront right away. I hope that, I hope this lie works. If not, it could be bad for all of us. I'm going to try to take some time to study, I guess, what I can do just in case I need to do it to defend myself or something. Maybe it was irresponsible not to learn about myself, but I thought if I didn't acknowledge that part of me, that maybe it wouldn't want to be let out.
I mean, you have our contact. Just make sure you keep us updated.
Oh yeah, if he comes back and is mad, you'll be the first to know. Well, maybe the second. I'm sure I'll probably know first.
Yeah, I mean, for all intents and purposes, we are monster hunters, but, we're on your side with this, man. We know that you're not like that, so know that you have people that are here for you, okay?
Yeah, thanks. Well, I guess this is goodbye for now. And Ori hugs you.
Oh, buddy.
And Nia sees that happening and kind of takes the cue, and she hugs you, Jake. Thank you for everything that you've done. I don't think we would have gotten through this without your help, obviously.
I think I get a little choked up, and I can't really respond. I'm swallowing tears.
And Ori goes around and he hugs each one of you.
As he was hugging me, I'm kind of self-consciously scrunching my neck up a little bit.
I was about to say, and he just sinks his teeth into it.
He's like, bro, I feel you doing that.
After he hugs me, I just kind of like turn and I'm looking a little dejected. I didn't get to see Hawaii too much.
Oh, well, I just said you guys can't stay here anymore. You can go back to the main island, and I don't know when your tickets are to go back.
Oh, that's true.
You guys gonna go see Hawaii?
Yeah.
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 And last thing before we go, I want to scribble down my cell phone number for each of them, just in case anything happens and they need to contact us quick.
So goodbyes are said, luggage is packed, and you guys decide that you're going to go see Hawaii. And I imagine that the last image that Ori and Nia see as you leave is the three of you just haphazardly piling into the Sea Gobbler and music blaring from it as you tear across the water towards the main island. We see snapshots from a Polaroid of you guys parasailing, snorkeling, zip lining, climbing a volcano. You guys are on a Segway tour. You're at Pearl Harbor looking at the history. Jake is doing the haka. Tess and TJ are in coconut bras learning to hula.
On either side of him?
Yes.
Yeah, while he's looking awesome.
You're all taking giant bites out of a roasted pig, which is in the middle of the photo with an apple in its mouth. And we pan back from these photos, and we see that it's Ori looking at them from an email that you guys have sent him. And he smiles, and he closes the email. And as he does, the front door of the main office of the Wait and See opens, and we hear,
Ori, I think you and I need to have a chat.
Hey, lots going on there. Before we get into Jake's final outcome, I just want to say that Task shooting the ceiling is also my favorite meme from the Crit Show. And one of my favorite pieces of I don't know if it's fan art, but it's like a fan creation, and I wish I could remember who did it. But back in the day, you guys had a calendar of photos from Wes, and it was a calendar, and there was one photo of Tass with his gun like on his back, and so someone I think sent this to me on Instagram of the calendar with that month displayed, Tass with the gun on his back, and then they had taped out of like construction paper like a hole on the ceiling directly
damage.
above the calendar, as if like he was in the calendar and had shot the ceiling.
Yeah.
And it's my favorite. It's so good. Let's see. Rev, did you have in mind that this was going to be an easy cleanup for TJ and Tass?
Yeah, God, yes.
And then they almost died.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were some rough rolls, some difficult fails for everyone.
Yeah.
All right, so we had Jake's 4 trials. He got 1 point on the Hydra. He got a mixed success on the Labyrinth, and then we had the drowning puzzle and then the drinking horn.
Yeah. The the results that he could get. So there were one of 3 things was going to happen. Either he was going to stay exactly as he was, but get to adjust his stats. That the executioner was going to enhance him.
The defender, you mean?
Defender, yeah, sorry.
Yes.
Or he was going to have to pick a new playbook and basically start over. Or he was going to be found unworthy, and because he had served them and tried to help, like they weren't going to leave him in a lurch, they knew that he has 2 things inside of him fighting. You know, this is not really a spoiler because they talk about it throughout this episode, that there is this werewolf and this vampire blood that was fighting inside of him at the time. And that they would have removed one of them for him. Because like if they kept fighting, it was going to destroy him. So the gods, before sending him out, if he had failed this trial, would have went, hey, there's this inside of you and this. Which one of them do you want us to get rid of? We can purge one from your system. And then his playbook would have changed to the monstrous, either a vampire or a werewolf.
Interesting. So what he was presented with was by playbook change, do you mean a change of God?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he was presented with the sword, which is the executioner, the 5 demon bag.
Yeah, which is the anarchist.
The anarchist. And then what was the third one?
The silver trident, which is the
Trident.
challenger.
The challenger.
Yeah.
And who is the challenger? Was that the woman?
No, we did not see the challenger.
Okay.
Oh no, wait. Yes, that was the challenger.
The lady with the drinking horn?
Yeah.
Loved her. She's great.
Yeah.
I would love to see more from her. Interesting. And so what would have happened, like, twice in these trials, Jake got like the mental idea that he could cheat, and what would have been the ramification had he? I mean, I guess he tried to cheat the maze, it just didn't work out.
Yeah, and then he kind of recanted the idea.
Yeah.
So him being willing to open that door. So the way that he tackled each challenge decided which of the gods were going to go, okay, I think I could work with you.
Mm-hmm.
And so if he had just straight up cheated his way through, if he had gotten rid of the symbol and used the armor, that would have attracted the attention of the torturer. Because he decided to break through the walls and, you know, try to chaotically find his way through the maze, that attracted the attention of the anarchist. And so those are 2 gods that would not have chosen him if he was only kind of on the up and up.
Interesting. So
Yeah.
what got him on the challenger's radar?
So the Challenger and the Executioner was really just about, like, the Challenger, he faced things head on. He didn't try to hide from the Hydra. And then for the Executioner, it was the similar thing of he tried to fight things that he couldn't fight. Yeah, really, it was just kind of the dark, quote unquote, darker gods that gave him the ability to cheat and to see if he would take it.
Interesting. Were there options to cheat in the third and fourth trials?
No.
Okay.
Because if there were, like, he would have gotten another kind of sensation of what it was if they were trying to enact it.
Interesting.
And so, yeah, really, in what we see, Jake gets a result that I did not have in the game. The game was, okay, you fail and you become the monstrous. You kind of pass, but prove that, the defender's not who you should be working with. And so you reset your playbook as with a new weapon and a new god, or you succeed entirely. You stay with the defender and he changes your stats, but you keep everything you've gotten so far.
Mm-hmm.
But, and I've talked about this before. I'm not going to stick to the rules I have set for this event when a character role plays a moment that in my head changes how the NPCs perceive the moment. And so, like, I just thought his speech was so good to the defender that I went, well, okay, the defender is gonna, like, go back and say, fuck you guys, I'm doing this. So, the result that he got when we started this episode was not an option. But because of his role playing, it became an option.
Interesting. So the defender mentions that the previous two divines were also his, or divines of the defenders. Do you have ideas as to, like, previous divines, like what they were like, or anything like that, or any sort of history of that?
I don't have too much of it, and actually, and I can hear it that way. But when the defender says that, he's actually talking about Jake as one
and
of those
his
two.
predecessor. That's what I figured.
That, like, you're my second mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Not he wasn't a mistake, but, like, his second failing as a coach.
Interesting. A very very important question from Sherry. What song do you imagine is playing during the guys' Hawaii beach episode montage?
Oh gosh, I don't have any idea. I don't know music.
I don't know.
That would be a question Jake would know. If Jake was here, he would have some solid answers.
He would. Jake's taste in music is impeccable. But yeah, and then Josh says, I think just like instrumental surf rock. Yeah, that's pretty. That's pretty.
Just the
good.
instrumental version of Wipeout.
Exactly. God, and he gave his phone number to Nia, who I still have so many questions about.
and Nia doesn't know about her father.
Yeah,
what he was.
Or maybe she's just seriously lying. I mean, that's also...
Yeah, that's true.
That's also a possibility.
Yeah.
Especially if Nia is actually a vampire. She might just be like like a secret vampire so that she's not also dragged into the Nash organization.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll never know. I'm so curious though. All right. So if you have any last minute questions, feel free to get them in while I look at what's going on for the rest of this week. What do we got? All right. Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. I am off of Mystery Detectives this week because I'm doing King Lear in North Hollywood. If you happen to be in North Hollywood, hit me up. I'll tell you where the tickets are. But Megan is going to be playing Donut County. Where she plays as like a hole that kind of like sucks things up. It kind of reminds me of the Katamari games a little
Yeah, I'm
bit.
terribly interested in this game now.
Rev's interested because it's got donuts in the title. So the theme is donuts or also the void. So whatever you want to do from that. Monday, the 30th at 8 p.m. Eastern is our off week in between Omniverse Chronicles. So while we are setting up our next Tales from the Omniverse, Rev, Tass, and myself are gonna be playing some Dead by Daylight. We're gonna just do some video games. I'm gonna
get some
die
murder.
a
Yeah.
ton.
Yeah.
I'm not good at this game. The only time that I play it is on stream. So like I don't really have a lot of opportunities to get good. But I do enjoy hanging out with all of you. So please join us as we just kick back and play some video games, run from some killers. And next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern is going to be our August AMA with the cast of the Critshow. So join us for that and ask us all sorts of questions. Once a month, a child makes a wish, and I am forbidden from telling a lie, and it's always on the AMA day. So ask all of those questions. Am I missing anything?
I don't think so.
Okay. So you did tease some
Oh, I did.
Omniverse
I
Chronicles
did.
exclusive
I know.
scoop.
You know, we obviously had some auditions
Mhm.
because we are kind of changing up a little bit how the Omniverse Chronicles work. We're gonna have a little bit of a rotating cast. I think that it's safe to say there has been a game master, first off, that everyone loved his work. And so in this next series, they're going to join in as a player. Landon is going to be joining us and actually taking my spot. I'm going to sit out on this one and let Landon have a turn, and I'm going to sit back and get to watch a story unfold instead of being a part of it. And Kim is going to be essentially the producer for this next one because it's going to be her and just a whole plethora of guests.
Just a big buffet of amazing guests.
I know. So I think Landon's the good one to drop right now, and the others will probably be coming very soon.
Tomorrow, Thursday.
Yeah.
Very, very soon. Yeah,
I'm very excited about this game too.
Yeah, I won't go too much into it, but so we're all playing people who have sort of recently died and are kind of trapped or sort of in the afterlife, unable to kind of move on, and they can't remember. They remember very little about who they were in their previous lives, and so all of character creation happened on just like 12 die rolls that determined the vague things that you remember, and they could be as easy as like, I stole something, I was in the hospital, I'm lying in a bed with someone, and one person got, I brutally killed someone, and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I wonder if there's a way. There's probably not a clean way to do this. We can do it, but it's going to be ugly. I could share my screen to show Landon's art for people to get a peek at it.
Ooh.
Unless there's a simpler way for you to share it. I'm trying to think what would be the cleanest way to do this.
What would be the way to do this?
I know that there's a good way to do this. It may just be.
Hold on.
Okay.
I think maybe I have.
I almost feel like if we just replace the.
Yeah, I'm.
art
Hold
in
on. I got this.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
gonna make it happen for us.
Oh, nice. Everybody can see what I'm sharing, so I can just share from here.
Oh, can they?
Yeah, like right now I can see our Discord and Yumi in this. So let me just change what I'm sharing.
I'm gonna transition that so no one's just gonna look at what I'm doing. Look at anyone DMing me.
all these internet fans sliding into Kim's DMs.
Please don't do that.
I gotta find the right screen first. There we go. Okay. Let me change. First, I'll stop what I'm sharing, and then I will try to.
You could probably
switch
share
to-
mine too.
There we go. Okay, it should be working now. Or is it not? Oh,
It
no,
is.
the
Look
image
how
not showing up?
cute.
Look at that.
Let me full screen it for us.
Yeah.
Very, very cute. Do
Yep,
you have
there's
mine?
Landon. I do. I'm trying to figure out how to. Let's see if I can. If I go the wrong direction, I'm gonna.
You're gonna
I'm
get
share
little
something that we haven't
spoils.
announced yet. I know.
How'd your stream go?
Um,
It was fine.
Uh,
What's the game for the next Omniverse Chronicles? The next game is Afterlife Wandering Souls, where we are playing a group of people who have. Look at me!
there's Kim.
I get the tank top this time.
Yep.
And it might be a little hard to read the text on stream, but it says, Welcome to the disaster life.
Disaster life.
Disaster life.
Yeah.
Which I love. I want that on a tank top. But yeah. So yeah, lots of good announcements, and the rest of our guests you'll find out will be announced in the next few days. I'm very excited about the next Omniverse Chronicles. It should be very interesting. The GM during the session 0 mentioned like certain things, and she said, like Kingdom Hearts, and I'm like, I love this.
Yeah, so we have this game we have 3 guests, and then the next 2 games we will have 2 guests. So we will announce the guest for Ghostbusters. I'm sorry, for Star Wars as that gets closer, and then the same thing with Ghostbusters.
Yep.
So we will announce this week at some point the other 2 guests for Afterlife.
I'm very excited.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Thanks for hanging out. Enjoy your exclusive news. And we will see you next week. Hopefully we'll see you here next Tuesday for the August AMA with the cast of the Crit Show. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.